Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this week's live bite-size workout. You're not going to need any props, and I just taught class, which is the reason why that prop's there, but you do not need props. Just you today. 15-minute mat. We're going to work the entire body. But each time I step on the mat, by the way, my name's Gretchen. I'm founder of Balance to the Core. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button there, as well as the bell next to it, so you get notified whenever I come on, because I try to come on live every week and would love you part of the community, working out with us as one big happy community family, Balance to the Core. So each time I step on the mat, I like to have sort of a theme or something to think about, because sometimes, you're doing the same work or moves, but it's important to come with a different intention, and that changes it up for you. And there's always something to work on in Pilates. Always, always, always. I've been doing this 20 years. It never gets old because there's always something to work on in your body. Today, I want to really focus on creating sort of like this length in from our rib to hip connection, and sort of the hip outer leg connection. So I want to create distance from your ribs all the way out to your feet. And so by the end of this class, I want you almost feeling like you are 10 inches taller. I want to try to get out all the gunk out of all those tight areas. So if that sounds good to you, then come join me, and just you today. Okay. So I want to start with our feet together in a nice wide diamond shape. Now we're not all the way close in like this. It's not a stretch like that. It's just a place to really just find the hips open, settling on top of the sitting bones and getting nice and tall. Okay. So the feet are together. Your spine is tall. Grabbing your shins, just lift up. Now try not to let the ribs pop open. Pull your ribs in and get your length by keeping the ribs in. And then we're just going to pull our spine back, but keep the ribs pulling up away from your hip bones as you flex. We come stack up through the spine. Try not to pop through the ribs. And now intentionally open the ribs as you open the spine. Come back to center. We pull the waist back. Keep the ribs lifting up away from the hips. We come back to center. Pull those ribs in, create length in your spine as we then open it up one more time. Come to center and scoop it back. And we come on up and give it a nice opening here. Come to center, pull those thighs in. We roll it back. As you roll it back, you're then going to take your elbows down on your mat and pull those feet so they can get flat on the mat. Squeeze your hips together. So as you pull your ankles towards each other, can you make that come from the hips? Yes. All right, we want the longest flexion possible. So as we lengthen the spine, just give yourself a little flexion of that upper body. All right, and we're going to try to stay in this position as we tap one thigh, tap the other thigh, tap, tap. And as you tap, try not to shift your weight from side to side. Good. Just keep that scoop. Keep your long flexion. If you want to try both, just allow the arms to settle right back. Whatever you want. And then come to center. Stretch your legs long. Connect those heels. All right, I'm going to just slide my heels down a little bit towards my mat so that I can roll all the way down. Point your toes. Stretch your arms back behind you. Keep those ribs into your spine. And we're going to flex our head, neck, and shoulders up into a little hundreds curl here and pump those arms. Breathe it in for 5. Breathe it out for 5. Keep squeezing those hips together, heels together, in and out. Nice vigorous pumps as we keep that flexion. Keep breathing, and as I talk to you, I want you to pull those bottom ribs down and into you and try to stretch your legs longer from those upper abs. Stretch through the arches as you squeeze everything together, even though you're flexed up. Good, now roll it down through the spine and stretch those arms back behind you. We're going to start to lift up. Let the upper back come up first, and then your arms just come along for the ride. They stay connected to your back. Now we're lifting our ribs up off of our hips as we pulse it. 3, little ab scoops. 2, 1, we roll it back. Pull back with the abs. Stretch that spine long. Again, lift up, reach the crown of the head to the ceiling, and then we flex it up and over, lifting the chest away from the thighs, and roll it back. You got one more. 3, 2, 1. Roll it back, roll it back, roll it back. Hug the right thigh into your chest, extend it up, anchor the arms. 3 circles each way as you keep your hips anchored, your opposite leg anchored. Reverse your direction, your shoulders anchored, and then go ahead, hug it in for a second and stay right here. Your opposite leg that's down, I want you to flex the foot and get the heel down. Really reach through the arch of that foot from your upper abs. Curl yourself up. Now look at that bottom leg. Anchor the heel. Do you feel your seat and hamstring on that side? As you anchor the heel, try to stretch it longer, but keep your ab scoop. All right, now we're going to curl ourselves up. Use that leg to help you up. Stretch the leg long. Walk up that leg. Lift from here, and then give me that little hundreds curl. And as you give me that hundreds curl, roll back, roll back, roll back, roll back. The other leg can lift and hug it on in. Good. Stretch it down. Other leg comes up. Flex the foot. We circle around. 3 in each direction. I think that's what I did on the other side. I hope it wasn't 5. And then circle the other way, keeping everything anchored. And then we'll go ahead and hug it in. All right, anchor this bottom leg, flex yourself up, and look at this leg. Connect the heel down. Find your seat and hamstring. If you're tight in your hips, might feel like a lot of work, but we want to open that hip. Scoop your belly and really stretch that leg long from your upper belly. And then use that leg to help lift yourself up. Stretch the leg. Hold right here. Lengthen. Give yourself that little hundreds curl so nothing really happens in the rest of the spine. We're just kind of curling, and then we'll take it back. That bottom leg can lift. Ooh, what do we have here? Keep the chest up and scissor it. Scissor, scissor. Try to just pulse that front leg if you can. Good. And then both legs together, and we'll stretch it down, and we'll pull it up. Keep your chest up. Reach those legs from your upper abs, right? Reach, stretch, and hug them together. One more. Good, and bend it in. Give yourself just a little crisscross here to flush it out. Good, really twist it and hug it in. Bring your legs to tabletop, curl yourself up, come into a little V position. So now, as your heels are down and flexing the foot, can you stretch through those arches? Anchor the hips down and get taller. So you're super active in your legs. You're anchoring them, yet there's still those outer hips pulling in to get you taller. And I want you to stretch longer through those legs, almost like you can just lift them up. They're so active. Take a dive forward on your exhale. Inhale as you lengthen it up. Now, as you're diving, you're lifting those ribs away from your hip bones. And you're keeping those arms right on your back. And you can lower the arms too if you want. If that feels better, got 2 more. Those legs are active, right? They haven't changed. 1 more. And come back up. Now I want you to stay right here and just bend one leg and bend the other leg. All right, you're up tall, right? Now all I want you to do is give me that little hundreds curl. So like you're lying on your back, right? I have you hundreds curl, but nothing changes in your pelvis. Same here. Hundreds curl, nothing changes in your pelvis. One leg up. Did your spine change? Keep it the way it is. Other leg up. How'd that go? You can stay like this or try to straighten one leg. Did your spine change? Now try to stretch the other leg. Good. How are you doing? Do you have that hundreds curl, but you have length? Activate the back of your legs. Activate your hips. Feel those legs reaching from your center. Maybe you rock it back a little bit and keep that shape as you come back up. And we come back up. Hello, live. Try it again. Good. Keep that hundreds curl one more time. And then with control, let those legs drop. As we come here, arms out to the side, rotate and dive. Hips don't move. You're super active though, right? Just like I talked about before, heels down through the arches. Anchor the seat and hamstrings. And keep lifting those ribs off your thighs. I can't breathe when I do that. One more time. Good. And we come to center and we bring it in and we spin it around. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath those hips. All right, so I want you to take your left foot back. Now tuck that toe under, okay? So now we're anchoring the ball of the foot, yet you're still reaching through the arch. Draw your belly in. Can you feel the reach of that leg from your upper abs? Your ribs are pulling in and the crown of your head reaches in opposition. Now we're going to lift that leg up and turn your inner thigh up to the ceiling, all right? So everything is super square, and now point that foot. Can you get more length out of it from your upper belly? We're going to tap down, lift up. Nothing in your body should change. You're anchoring that anchored foot and shin and knee. And at the same time, the hip is pulling inward on both sides. Hips pull inward. 3 more. 3, 2, you're going to stay right there on 1. Inner thigh spinned up. Now float to your opposite arm up. Hold that and give me little pulses here. Arm stays on your back for 3, 2, 1. We settle it back in. Other side, ball of your foot down. Get all 5 toes equally down. Stretch from your upper abs, your lower ribs, back of your legs active. This anchored foot down, shin down, knee down, and feel your outer hip pull inward. Stretch your leg up. Flex that foot. Now turn the inner thigh up and then stretch that leg long and feel your seat and hamstring, your inner thigh, your outer thigh, right? So you're still pulling inward from that outer thigh. Tap down and up. Good. We're not sinking into our hip at all. Belly pulled in, ribs pulled in. For 3, 2, hold it up there on 1. Float your other arm up, right? And then give me little pulses here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Sit it back for just a second. Come on down. All right, and bring your hands on your forehead and squeeze now your thighs together. All right, inner thighs pulled in, turned up. Anchor the pubic bone as we lift the upper body and the lower body and we take it down. So the key here is when you lift up, you lift from your center, not from your head and neck. So what do I mean by that? Keep going. You want to pull your belly in so much that you feel your hip bones pulling up towards your ribs, okay? Pull those hip bones up to your ribs. We have 2 more. Stretch it. Stretch those legs long from those ribs. Sit back. Roll it up. Okay. Sorry, I'm chopped off here. Didn't do well with my camera there. Okay. So now, when we were down here, I had you anchor the foot, the shin, and the knee. Same thing here. Still anchoring, but now we have both legs anchoring. I want you to imagine there's like a squishy ball between your knee, okay? Between your knees. So as you anchor everything down, you're also pulling inward. Your hip bones are right over your knees. So pull down, press inward. Do you feel everything activated there? You should feel like you're working. Now keep that as you stretch your arms up. Try not to lose your balance. Now what we're going to do is take an inhale to prepare. On your exhale, lean back. And as you lean back, press those legs down and inward. And we come back up. So try to maintain the stretch and the opening of the hip as we come back up. Press back, and as you come up, keep pressing down and inward with those hips. You feel that. You might lose your balance. Your feet might lift. Try to keep those feet down and anchored. One more time. Circle those legs around. Spin it. Bring your legs to the front corner of your mat. Drop down to your elbow. Pick up your other elbow. Press your head into your hands. Now we lift up. Really anchor that bottom leg, point through your other leg. And now we're working on reaching our thigh out of our pelvis, right? Reach it out as you stretch it forward, pulse, pulse. Stretch it out of the thigh or the pelvis as you pulse, pulse. So as you reach this leg away from your pelvis as you come forward, you're not going to be able to bring it so far to your chest because then you don't have that distance anymore. So it's easy to try to kick your nose, right, if your spine is moving. But if you try to reach that leg, keep your pelvis where it is, pulse, pulse, takes a little bit more effort, which creates more opening in your low back, in your hips, all those tight areas. Okay, now heel to heel. We point up, keep reaching the leg away from you, flex it down. Point and flex. 3 more. Keep it turned out. Keep stretching it as long as you can. And we don't want to change the shape of our spine. Good. And then we come up. Give yourself a little side bend here as we go to the other side. All right. Legs, body. All right. And now hand behind your head. It can also stay in front of you. Anchor your bottom leg as you lift your top. Now, you want to really stretch that leg, not from any joints, from those upper abs. Can you feel that? Now, keep stretching that femur out of your pelvis. Pulse, pulse, and pulse, pulse. Now, if I go too far back, I start to arch through my back. So that's how it's strength and stretch at the same time, not just stretch. So actively reach the femur away from you. These are so good for your hips. Stretch, stretch. Try not to let your chest move with you. Really anchor that bottom leg too. Good. Reach out of the crown of your head. And then heel to heel, we point, we flex. Good. And if you want more longer workouts with me, come check out balancetothecore.com. I have single workouts you can purchase, or you can come join my members club where we work out live twice a week, every week. And it's so fun. Good. Come on up. Side stretch the other way. Ooh, yeah, good. All right, so from here, I'm going to do a little standing. Of course, she always has to join at some point. All right, so roll back onto your feet. All right, and then we're going to straighten the legs up. Keep yourself curled over. So keep pulling your ribs away from your hips as you come on up. All right, so now we're going to dive it forward. So I want you to give me your hundreds curl, right? So you're doing your upper body flexion. So you take it down, continue to take it down without letting your hips drop back. So we have a lot of flexion going on. We're stretching. And we're going to walk out 4 counts. All right. And then give me a little scoop, like you're doing a little chest press. And then you're going to scoop your belly. And you're going to keep your pelvis tucked as you drop your heels down. We lift those heels up and then articulate it back out. Find your plank. Do it again. We tuck, we scoop, little ab flexion. Keep the tuck of your pelvis like you're rounded like an elephant. We're doing down, up. One more time. So this isn't down dog where you just lift the hips up and get that stretch. We want the tuck still. Walk back. Try not to wobble the hips too much. Keep those hips together. And we lift it on up. Circle it around. Dive it one more time. Over. Good. And then we're going to drop to our knees and sit it back. And then roll it on up through the spine. So I just brought you down to the mat again because that's where I am. So hopefully this was a good little quick workout for you. Nice little bite size. Tried to get the whole body for you. Hopefully you feel fabulous because it's been fabulous working with you. I look forward to working with you again. And also check out balancetothecore.com for more workouts. Thanks so much for being here with me. I'll see you next week. Bye.